Hi, I'm Jessica. I have a small business called Jessica's Cozy Creations where I make crochet plushies and sell them mostly at markets. This is a video that I kind of really didn't want to make. I've been putting it off. Try to ignore the pimple patches. Acne's been rough, and the overall rough appearance. I really have been putting off making this video. The main reason, or I guess there's two main reasons why I decided to go ahead and make the video, and one of those is because I had talked about it in my other videos that I was going to be doing the Ohio State Fair, and I just felt like it would be weird to just kind of skip over that and move on to other videos. And then the second reason is because one of my biggest regrets with my YouTube journey in the beginning is not showing all of the failures, I guess mostly for me, so I can go back and look, because there are times going through this rough patch that make me feel like, why did I even start this whole process of having a small business? And I don't know, sometimes it's good to remember how things started and the things that I've learned, and I guess a third thing, so that other people can hopefully learn from my mistakes as well. So yeah, I'm not sure how much of the details of things I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna try to not get into all the little things, but I also want to, feel like I have a voice. I felt like this was something that I was I kind of don't want to talk about it because I don't want to make people angry. I don't want to piss anybody off. But it was also a thing that I was okay, well, I'm just kind of stuck not making YouTube videos because there's this thing that I don't want to talk about, but I don't want to just skip over it like it never happened. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about it. So it's kind of difficult to know where to start. I guess I can just give you guys the overall why this whole thing turned out to be a big issue. I took time off of, I usually go to a mall that's close to me every 2 weeks, and I sell there, and it is expensive for me to sell there, but it's consistent. It's consistent pay that I know is going to be pretty much within I know the range that it's going to be within, and I know that it will pay my bills and, consistency. So I did the Strawberry Festival, and that was really good. I took a month off of going to the mall for that, and I was only able to make in that time a little bit over $6,000 worth of inventory. So I figured this event is going to be so much bigger that I need to take more time off. I took a month and a half off of doing anything, making any income, just to build up enough inventory for this. And because I didn't sell as much as I thought I was going to, for reasons that I'll get into later, not only did I not make enough money for that month and a half, but also I ran into the issue of when I tried to get back into the mall, all I had to do before was text the leasing manager and say, hey, I would like to get in next weekend. She'd be like, great, and she would send me an invoice. But they were switching out management. I don't know if she got fired or if she quit. It seemed like it was an abrupt thing, because it seems like they don't have everything figured out with that. So it took me quite a while to get back into the mall. I just got back in the weekend before last. I don't know if I'll be making a video on I'm going this weekend. I don't know if I'll make a video on that or not. Really, I was going to make a video of the last weekend that I was in, but it was just a thing that I was I just want things to feel normal again, and I just want to enjoy just being back at the mall. I feel like I might be over explaining, but that's what I do. So in the end, the money that I made from the state fair was my only income for 2 months altogether, and actually a little bit over 2 months because of the fact that it took me a while to get back into the mall. But I was under the assumption that I was going to almost sell out of the inventory that I had for the Ohio State Fair, and then I was going to need 2 weeks to build back my inventory to get back into the mall. So with all that being said, this did not go the way that I had expected at all. First of all, there were 15 or maybe 16 different crocheters that I wasn't aware that they were all going to be a part of it until I had already paid my fee to get into it, and I had already made plans to go out there. I mean, I was planning to be out there for a week, so I needed to work out what was going to happen with my daughter, because my husband gets out of work later than my daughter gets off of school. So we just needed to work some things out. And by the time that I had worked all of that out, and I had paid the fee to be in and everything felt set in stone, I quickly realized that there was going to be a lot of crocheters. So the issue with that is obviously the competition of the other crocheters stuff being at the booth. But I was, thinking it will be okay. It will be like a thing where the days that I'm there, my stuff is going to be out for the most part. And then, whoever else is there working the booth, because it was my understanding, and I'm sure the person that was running this had a different idea in their head of the way that it was going to go as well. But my understanding is that it was going to be a thing where people would like switch out from day to day, and the days that I was there were the days that I was going to be selling my stuff. And, obviously some other people's stuff to fill the booth, but it was just much, much different when I got there. First of all, when I got there, I realized we had so much inventory, and it was all crammed into a tiny space because the person that was running this wanted to have as much stuff out as possible. And I will put in some clips and show you guys. So as you can see, I don't know if I will decide to put in pictures or videos or what, but as you can see, it was extremely overpacked, and a lot of the stuff, because it was so many different crocheters, had a very different feel to it. And while it is nice to have that variety, it felt like, so for me, I used to love going thrift shopping, and I still do enjoy it from time to time, but the issue that I have is I gotta sift through all the things that I don't want to find the things that I want. And yeah, some people find that fun, but I think that when it comes to like a small business selling expensive items, like if I'm gonna charge $20 for this, it's not a thrift store. You want it to look a little bit more neat. And in my opinion, the booth looked overwhelming. I personally wouldn't want to go through the bins to find a $40 plushie. And I feel like if I was a customer and I saw that, I might walk right past it because it just feels so messy and overwhelming. But that's just my personal opinion. Maybe other people could have the opinion, like I said, it's good to have the variety and stuff, and it just felt overwhelming to me. I found out later on that altogether there was over $46,000 worth of inventory. That's a lot. So I feel like maybe the better way to handle the situation would have been, if people want to send in their stuff, maybe wait, have the main crocheters that are actually going to be there, and maybe a couple of other people send in their stuff. And then, because the fair was 12 days long, maybe wait a couple days, see how things are selling, and do some math in your head, and, you can pretty much guesstimate what sales are going to be for the 2 weeks. Get a pretty good idea of it, and then people wouldn't have spent their money shipping stuff in and then having to spend money to get it shipped back to them. I feel like this video is just me complaining, but really I want people to learn from this if they can, and hopefully not put themselves in this situation, because that is the number one thing that I feel like is the only thing that's gonna make my business continue to improve and grow, is me learning just different things like this, things that you wouldn't really think about. I just keep telling myself, well, I learned a lesson. I mean, I remember in the beginning, I used to go to all these events and I was like, why is my stuff not selling? And then I realized I got to do research about the event. I got to know the right questions to ask about the event. And those are the things that are going to help me find better events. And then in the in-between times, what I do is I go to the mall. But I feel bad because I feel like I'm complaining, but also this situation did upset me a lot, and it did put me in a financial situation that was not ideal. And, like I said, I would like for you guys to learn from it, hopefully. I did take some notes as I was rethinking about the situation and everything, so if you see me looking down, but like when I first got there, we started tagging things, and that I was fine with that. You know, it is what it is. I understand that the girl that was running it wanted everything to be uniform, but I at the time didn't know how much inventory there was as well. So we finished tagging Michelle's stuff. I will put Michelle's handles. She was a sweetheart, and I feel like we got to like talk a lot while I was out there, and we connected, and that was one of the few positive experiences about this. But it was just pretty much the whole time I was out there, it was just tagging. Let's just say that for the most part, it was tagging. It was getting up, going there, tagging stuff while we were there because we had so much inventory to tag. Pretty much none of it was tagged. It was just so much stuff to do. And, you know, that really wouldn't have been so bad if it would have been my stuff, like at the front of everything, or not just my stuff. I would say the three of us, you know? And then once our stuff sells, then start selling other people's. I'm not exactly sure what the right way to do it would have been. I just know that it didn't feel fair to me. I remember the first day I was actually watching Michelle's video. She did a video on the whole thing. And the first day that I was there, she took a video of everything at the end, and I only saw two of my things that were out, like two groups of things. I had my possums out and I had my chicks out. And I can't remember if I had anything else out, but I remember at the end of the first day being like none of my stuff is out. And that's just kind of how it felt until the girl that was running it left to go back to her hometown. And then I felt like I was able to get some more of my stuff out there. But it felt like this weird feeling of, well, I don't want to be selfish and I don't want to take up, you know, all the space. Oh, there's so many people to have their stuff out, you know? So it was like really weird mixed feelings, but it just felt like I had paid to be there. I paid for the gas money. I paid for food while I was out there. It just, oh, and I forgot to mention I had driven an extra hour and a half out of my way to pick up other people's stuff, which I offered to do that. But it was just like I had already paid for food, gas, booth fee. I was sitting there being the one doing the work, like tagging stuff. Obviously not the only one, they were doing it as well, but it didn't feel fair for Michelle or I, in my opinion. And I'm sure that the girl that was running it was expecting for there to be more people. I forgot to mention that I thought it was going to be people in and out. I know that I mentioned that, but it turned out to only be us three. So I feel like maybe the better way to handle that would have been to have people pay some sort of deposit beforehand to make sure that there were going to be more people, because 3 people for 12 days, that's a lot, especially when the days are so long, and then you don't really have time to like go home and relax. So just the thought of 3 people running that booth for 12 days, that's a lot of work. I just feel like there are things that could have been done to make sure that the people that said that they were going to be there, or I don't really know. I can't really like speak on that. If there were people that said that they were going to and then backed out, I don't know, because I wasn't, you know, the one running it. I assumed, and that's what I should not have done. I assumed that this was going to be something that was like well thought out and organized well, and you know, that's on me, that I should have asked more questions. Like I said before, you learn the right questions to ask. So that's something that I would recommend if you are ever planning on doing a big thing like this with a group of people, is definitely ask questions. There are a couple of other things that I have written down, but honestly, I don't feel like it's necessary to get into all of the details of everything. But I will say that I do feel bad for Michelle. Watching her video, she seemed exhausted, and I did end up leaving after, I think it was a little bit short of a week, because the girl that was running it had come back early, so I asked if I could go ahead and go. So I ended up, I can't remember the exact numbers, and I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it, but I think I made like 1,700 or something like that. And you know, at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. Even if it would have been 2,000, it wouldn't have been enough to be out there for a week. But in the end, I think that they were shy of 2,100 for everything sold. And when you think about the 46,000 that everybody had put in, I think that it just kind of wasn't fair for anybody. And I think that it was a situation where, like, I don't think anybody really fully knew what was going on. So I would just say that communication is key when you are thinking about doing these things, for sure. And to end things on a positive note, like I said, I really got to connect with Michelle. Definitely check out her videos if you want to see like more vlog style of the Ohio State Fair. Then she has a video up. It's like an hour long. I just didn't get much footage while I was out there because I wasn't sure if I was gonna make a video of it, to be honest. But yeah, go check out her video. I got to buy some stuff from other crocheters, which was nice. I got to trade some stuff, and lessons learned. So this is definitely going to be a shorter video, and I'm sorry that it's more on the negative side, but that's also something that I struggle with being on YouTube, is that you know, I'm not always the most positive person, and that's the reality of it. I try my best to be, but I just want to be my authentic self on here, and, you know, not always pretend to be happy and grateful for everything. Like I said, there are things that I learned from this situation, but I don't feel like I should have to be happy about it either. So I will go ahead and put some clips that I got. I don't know how much footage I did get, probably not much, here, and thanks for watching. I'm just gonna try to figure out where I'm supposed to be, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, we're here for day 3. I didn't really film much other than like a couple of clips that I'll put some music in for day 1 and 2. I was pretty like overwhelmed for the first day, at least, that I came here, like figuring out sleeping situation, and we had a lot of stuff to tag, so there was a lot of that going on, and just kind of getting into the groove of things. So I will try to film more today, and I am going to walk around the booth and show you guys some of the things that we have. We have a lot of cool things here. Also, this is the first event that I've ever been at that there's like a back area to keep stuff, so I'll show that too because I think that's really interesting. These are butternut squash. Very cute. We got the classic mushies, flower peeps, pigs, chicks, chickens. These little monster guys. We've got monkeys up here with like backpacks. Isn't that so cute? This, I really want to buy this, but we'll see how the next couple days go. It's like a vintage looking Halloween cat. I'm obsessed. so we will see if I can get that. We've got these guys that got little babies in them. Little babies. Hold on. There we go. We are trying to do our best to like switch out stuff from day to day. That way everything gets a chance in the front. Things are just moved around so people can see everything over the whole 2 weeks. This froggy is so cute. Oh, this. Look at that. So cute. Just a lot of variety. Pretty much everything you can think of. Just about. There's been a couple animals that people have asked about that we haven't had, but for the most part, everything that somebody asks about, we have at least one, if not two of them. And that's more stuff that we need to tag that we will get to here in a minute. And then this is our little back area. So like this side is ours and then that side is theirs. And these people have a whole cooking area, which is awesome. I didn't want to record anything over the first 2 days that I was here because I've been a little bit overwhelmed. We've had a lot to do and it's just been like a lot of adjusting to things. So yeah. There was somebody that's been coming by for a few days now asking for a squirrel, so I decided to make them a squirrel, but it's been super busy. It is the 4th day, it is Saturday, and I literally was just finishing it when they came up to get it, so I'm glad they came to get it.